everyone, it's Denise, and today I thought we would paint in one of our From Scrap to Treasure journals that we make in that Skillshare class I've got. And I love this book because on this other page we painted this beautiful layout. So I thought I would do the other side of that, this side here. And because, you know, I had a drip of something come through when we painted that first layout, that's what led us to stencil and discover how beautiful stencil work is on top of this handmade mulberry paper. And thought we would do something pretty on this, and I'd pull a color cube card. I just did a blind pull. I don't know if that's the best choice for this yellow paper, but we're going to go for it. This is card 335 out of Color Cube 2 by Sarah Renee Clark. I love my color cubes. It's my favorite art tool. Gets me past the dilemma of what color. So I've pulled a couple of colors out of my Kuretake, that bigger standard set of the Kuretake watercolors. I pulled a few colors out of there. Just getting close. It's not my goal to be exact. It's my goal to work within a color palette I wouldn't normally work in, push myself outside of my comfort zone from colors that I would normally gravitate towards, and get a more interesting, in-depth kind of palette than I would ever put together. So I've got number 21 gray for that gray. I've pulled burnt sienna, number 46 for that second color. I have pulled 72 maroon, which it might be brighter than that, but we'll get close enough. I've pulled an ink for this kind of indigo color, so I've pulled F.W. Daler Rowney indigo ink for that. Maybe just, we'll see. And I pulled a gray, but it's not really the right color of gray, so I may save that and be stencil work on top, or I could mix white in with this color here and get that color there. So I don't know, we'll see. So I've got a few colors out. Let me just get a pad of that out. I'm going to squirt these with water just to get them activated. And then I'm just going to grab a brush. It's my Raphael number 0 soft aqua brush. Is that big enough, or do I want a bigger one? Let's just go for that. All right, and I'm just going to maybe bull clip this down a little bit. Oh, I am just in love with these books. And now, you know, people are like, what do you do with all the art you make? Well, now, you know, we can create all the art in an art book. This is just like taping this down to a wood board on my table. And now we don't have to worry about what we do with it, because when we're all done, we'll have a finished book that we can share, carry around, brag about, who knows. And I love that we can just have fun in a book without it being super stressful, and who knows where we're going to end up. And I have a lot of people try to, you know, paint along with me and start off with an expectation and get frustrated. And, you know, one of the number one things that I talk about, especially with color challenges like this, is don't start out with expectations. Maybe start out with the same colors that I'm using, but then don't get hung up on whether this is going to look exactly like mine or not, because it's not. I can't even like recreate things like I want to sometimes. So I've stopped imagining what I'm going to end up with, and I'm like, we're just going to freeform this and see wherever we go is where we end up. And I'm just playing with my bowl scraper here to see what that could do a little bit. And this book is made with the Cotty watercolor paper, which is weird paper. It's weird paper, but I like it for the books because you get big sheets. It's very economical. It's cotton paper, which I really love. And it's something that you can kind of experiment with. Okay, let's do the whoa. It's something we can experiment with and just see, like, where can we go on paper that's not super, super expensive. But it is weird paper. I've made several books now too with my favorite papers. And I'm just going to love whatever I get off of whatever paper I put in these books. But you can make these books with whatever your favorite paper is. If you like the Handmade paper, make it with the Handmade paper, which I've got a Handmade paper book. I also ordered some Two Rivers paper from Jackson's Fine Art in England because I thought, ooh, wouldn't that be fun to experiment with? So I can't wait to make a book out of that. Kind of thinking maybe some lines over here. Maybe some more lines over here. And remember, I'm not going anywhere with an expectation here. I'm playing and experimenting. Kind of feeling like maybe I just did an art haul with these Joggles stencils, so they're the ones sitting beside me. And I'm thinking maybe we should try some of these out. Like I really like this one here. This one is Ancient Ruins. Whoa, I'm kind of feeling that one. Okay. Now I might have wished I didn't do that blue ink in there because it's made like little splotches. So let's blend that in some and see if we can move that around a little bit. And I'm mixing my mediums there. That's acrylic ink versus watercolor, but I like to do that. Let's put some of this over here. Kind of thinking with the Ancient Ruins, like we could do while this is drying. Let's go ahead and get this out. And I really like this little pattern right here. So that might be something that we do here. Let's get these where I'm not going to get them everywhere. And you can see our colors versus our inspiration. Almost thinking like what if we did this right here. I've got in my Blick matte paints. Now that I've thought of that, I've got pewter, which kind of, I might have used that on another one of these. Might have used it on that other page, but I like that the pewter is that yummy grayness. And I'm almost thinking, so I think what the secret on here is really dry paint so that it doesn't have a chance to soak through to the other side. That's kind of the premise I'm thinking on there. Get a little piece of tape and see if we can steady this a little bit. Maybe not, but we'll make the effort. The more pages you do in your little books like this too, the braver you get. Because you get less afraid of the pages and you're like, oh, okay, let's experiment and play and just see what we can come up with. The first layout's always the hardest, which is why as soon as I made my book, I'm like, okay, let's just jump right in. Let's not make it so precious that we're even afraid to use it. Which is kind of why I like that cotton paper, because it's not as expensive. It's a cotton paper, which I like. It's weird in the texture, but when it's all done, I like the way it feels. And it doesn't feel as precious, like I'm not scared of it. Okay, let's put some more paint down. Like if I were using the, say, the Two Rivers paper that I just got, I might be afraid to mess that up because that's really nice handmade paper, you know, that's not cheap, and I'd be more afraid of it. And so I feel like I'm not as afraid of this paper, even though it is weird. And because I'm not a strictly watercolor artist, I'm a mixed media artist, I'm not looking for a specific performance out of my watercolor paper per se, like I might be if I were doing strictly watercolor. So you got to think of these things when you're thinking of the papers that you might like to create. And you know, the whole book itself when you're done is a piece of art, which is what I love, because you're doing art in the book and then the book itself is the art. And then you're super proud to show off all the pieces that you painted. You're not looking at it thinking, oh, what do I do with all these pieces of paper that I have laying around, the things I've painted, what do I do with this? Okay, I'm afraid now. I'm thinking on the hope this didn't sink through to the other side. Because I love the other side. Oh my gosh, could be a fail. We'll see. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see what we got here. Look at that. Let's see, did it go through? Did we get any bleed through? I think we're okay. Might have a little bleed through, but that's okay. Ooh, look at that. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now I'm almost feeling like I could do a little of that over here maybe. Let's see, did we? It's kind of dark, so we do have a little darkness showing on there. So that might be a good lesson going forward. If we're doing on these handmade papers, if we keep all the paints light, we won't have any dark seepage if we do a darker thing. Haha! Another thing that I might could have done is gessoed with clear gesso over this page, and then no color would have soaked through. It might be thin enough that we still would have seen the color though, but a little soak through right there. But I think we're still okay. I'm okay with that. I'm not hating it. So now I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll do a few ruins over here. Maybe I need some mark making. Ooh, I do feel like I need some mark making. It's not dry yet, but let's do some mark making. Here's my 10B and my pit. I just like adding in some other layers. So this might not be something that you see from like where you're sitting on the camera, but as you get closer and you look into a piece of art, it's something that you'll see in the layers and you're like, ooh, like what is that I see kind of peeking through? So I might come through with just some marks under here, and then we might do some stencil on top. We might do some other color on top. It's getting dry. This is wet right here. So let me let that dry for a moment and I'll be right back. All right, we're mostly dry. And I'm kind of thinking maybe I want some orange, maybe some of these in the orange, just kind of random, not specific. And then I can mark make on top maybe, or I can do something a little different. I don't know. Now, one of the things about this cotty paper that makes it so weird is the warpage. It warps pretty good, but usually it flattens back out when it's like completely dry, so I just don't worry about the warpage. But just so you know, that's one of the things it does. It warps a lot. Okay, I do like that a lot. I don't feel like it's done though, so I'm kind of thinking what about this one? Haven't used it yet either. This is cross hatch. It just came in my Joggles order that I just did. Kind of feeling like maybe some of that. Trying not to mix all these up with let's put some of this color out. It's not white. It's like a light gray, and we'll say we got that light gray or close to it. Maybe I'll mix that in with the orange and see what we get. Maybe not good, but we'll see. All right, so let's see. Kind of thinking ooh, oh, okay, I do like that as a bit in there. Good deal. I kind of feel like I still need something, a pop. Might need to be white. Does it need to be white? Are we thinking white? What are you thinking? I know you're thinking gold. But I don't know that this one's gold. I kind of like the lines here. Do we like the lines? Maybe not. I'm looking at all my little stash here. Ooh, you know what? Ooh, how about the Stencil Club stencils? Ha ha ha! This weirdo flower one. What about that one? Okay, so I'm now kind of thinking let's get the white. And that orange was orange deep. Blick Matte and Pewter Blick Matte. And then this one was Warm Gray Blick Matte. This is Titanium White by Liquitex. And I'm kind of thinking, and I like the heavy bodied white, and I'm using dry sponges, and just a little paint on the sponge goes a long way. Kind of thinking crazy. This one's crazy to me. It's a crazy stencil. I mean, it's some kind of maybe flower. I don't know. All right, are we gonna like this? Let's peek at it before I... That's pretty cool. Okay. You know, some of these I've used them, and then when I got them, I thought, ooh, I don't know about that. And then when I used them, I'm like, whoa, totally love it. And I'm so surprised that I love it. And this is kind of one of those. I kind of looked at it and I thought, am I gonna like that? And at the same time, I thought, well, think of those other ones that you thought you weren't gonna like, and then you used it, and you're like, okay, wow. Totally misjudged what I thought I was gonna like after I tried it. Okay, let's see. Oh, now I do kind of like that. Kind of feel like I missed an opportunity here, up here. All right, I'm feeling pretty good. This doesn't really go with our ruins, but that's okay. Okay, I'm liking that. That's pretty good. All right, that's our Stencil Club, June 2024 from the Stencil Girl. Yeah, I'm throwing all these on the floor, and who knows if they get back in the right package. Thinking one more thing. Are you thinking that we could use one more thing? What are you thinking? Kind of feeling like, ooh, okay, how about some dots maybe? I feel like we could always use some dots. So maybe a Posca dot. How about that? Okay, yeah, I'm feeling dots. Dots just give it a little bit of whimsy. It's like a little finishing touch. It's just a little bit of a detail that you're like, oh yes, that finished it off. That's what a dot is for me on some of these. Oh yeah, okay. I'm definitely feeling good about that. It totally needed a dot. Brings together these white bits that are out there. And I picked white dots, but you know, we could pick a few colored dots. Like, I like this orange in here. What if we did a crazy orange? Oh, look at that. Whoa. Look at that. That's a fun surprise and a pop of color. Okay, good choice. That was a good little surprise, wasn't it? Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Okay, what do we think of that? Oh, I'm feeling it. Definitely feeling that. I like the little surprise of the orange pop. Oh, I love it. Okay, good deal. Okay, I feel like I'm there. All right, so I'm going to very carefully, I may need to use my heat gun, but I taped the tape down really gently. Like I wasn't firm about it because I was like, if I do it softly, maybe we'll get enough. All right, I feel like I need the heat gun over here. Oh, maybe not. Just got the, oh, there we go. Whoa! Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let's get this little last piece. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, definitely love this page. Look at that, like as a companion to this other page, it kind of flips right over. It does something nice. Look at that. Okay, that was a great paint day. Alright, I hope you enjoyed playing with me today, testing out a new color palette, which now that we're all done, I think we did pretty good and got a really lovely, surprising look here on this with our new stencils that we've just got in on an art haul, even though this video is probably a little further out than the art haul. It's my first time getting to play with them and I love them. Alright, hope you guys have a great paint day too, and I'll see you next time.